Good afternoon and welcome everyone to our 2021 NCAA Men's College Cup preview press conference this afternoon. We're joined first by the head coach of the number 8 seed, the Clemson Tigers, who will play number 4 seed Notre Dame in our first game on Friday at 6 p.m. at Salem Stadium at Wake Med Soccer Park. Coach, I'll open up to you first, just kind of a statement on having Clemson back in the College Cup.
No, we're very proud to represent Clemson University in the College Cup. It's it's an honor. It's a great group. In looking forward to the matches this weekend over in Cary. Obviously, a great venue for college soccer. It's been a good home for college soccer over the years. Excited to participate with the other teams, Georgetown, Washington, and Notre Dame. And congratulate everybody for getting to this point.
Just a reminder, if you have questions for Coach Noonan, please use the raise hand function, and we'll start with Matt Vereen. Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, Coach, I guess just first off, looking back on the Oregon State game, just what did you like here this late in the season about seeing your team, kind of the most important thing, finding a way to win and keep the season alive?
Yeah, I think that, we discussed through the course of the week. Well, first and foremost, Oregon State is an outstanding team and was deserving of the number 1 seed in the tournament. But we talked all week about doing something that's, very, very difficult. And I don't care what sport it is, to go across country and play a number 1 team or a championship caliber team and to come away with a result. Is something that's very, very difficult. And our guys found a way to get that done and was very proud of them, in the moment. We've had some heartbreaks over the course of the last 3 or 4 years when it comes to penalty kicks, and it was just our time.
Matt, go ahead if you've got another one.
Yeah, Coach, I guess now you match up with a Notre Dame team that you faced earlier in the year that got the best of you in a 2-0 one that you saw a lot of offensive opportunity, but weren't able to come out with a win. Just what's the message now headed into a rematch with them?
Well, we talk all the time about 99% concentration for 100% failure in our game, right? And we played extremely well in the Notre Dame game the first time around and didn't take our moments and had some lapses there towards the end of the game. And Notre Dame came away with the win. Since then, we've gone on to seeing that Notre Dame is a very resilient, tough team to play against defensively. They don't concede a lot of goals. And, obviously they're a championship caliber team winning the ACC tournament and now advancing to the College Cup.
John Blau, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to ask you about George Marks. He's obviously come up in some big moments for you guys in the postseason. How much have you seen him grow just from the guy you recruited back in Raleigh to the goalie he is today that's making those huge plays for you guys?
Yeah, I think if you're talking in a scale of 1 to 10, you're going to 11 in terms of his growth as a young man and as a goalkeeper. He came to us and he certainly had a lot of talent, but there was a little bit of a false confidence there as to who he was, I think, as a young man and also as a goalkeeper. And I think now what you find is probably one of the most mature, dialed in athletes that maybe I've ever coached. And he's come a real long way in terms of his talent. Every facet of his game has improved, and a lot of credit's got to go to Camilo Rodriguez, our goalkeeper coach, who's worked with him over the last 4 years to get him there. From his reading the game behind the line to his distribution. I mean, he was always a great shot stopper, but even commanding his box and then now saving penalties and penalty kick shootouts and having the steel to be able to stand up and do that and win games for his team. He's come a long, long way. He's a captain of our team now. When he came in as a freshman, I never foresaw that happening. And, he's someone who really epitomizes the Clemson way and the Clemson soccer program.
John, go ahead.
Just to follow up on that, you're talking about him as a freshman. He was telling me that he was maybe a little overconfident, trying to do too much. As a freshman, he tried to punt the ball really far to get you guys ahead and do things like that, that you would have conversations with him. How do you kind of balance that with a goalkeeper who obviously you want to be tremendously confident, but you don't want to be doing too much and being overconfident in some ways?
Well, it's funny because we've got a little bit of experience with that. Cody Mizell, when I first got to Clemson, was here, and he's going to play this weekend in the MLS Cup final with New York City FC. And Cody was the same type of young man, very, very confident in his abilities, but wanted to be a bigger part of the game than he needed to be. And so I kept on saying to Cody, and I've said to George, you don't have to be our number 10. And you don't have to make spectacular saves. The less you do, the more organized you've been. And it's almost like a referee, isn't it? It's if you don't see him, he's doing a really, really good job. If the goalkeeper is organizing everything in front of him, then he only has to come up with one or two maybe spectacular saves in the game, and then his team is generally going to win the game. And so, we've kind of dialed George down to that and refined him a little bit in terms of the other areas of his game, his communication, his organization, his distribution, and like I said, how he reads the game and helps others in front of him read the game and organize our team. But he's still a very confident young man, and you don't want to tame that.
All right, we'll go to A's iPhone. A, if you could just introduce yourself and who you're with, and then state your question.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'm on my phone. It's Alexis Cubitt from the state newspaper. I just wanted to ask you about, you mentioned having some heartbreakers in previous years, but to be able to get a win over Oregon State, I guess, what does that just say about this team and their ability to kind of get the job done in a clutch moment?
They're very resilient and they're very experienced. I think you can go back to the Kentucky game. We were winning that game 1-0 into late stages of the game. Kentucky, also an outstanding team, scores to tie the game, and within 2 minutes we score the winner at the death of the game. So our team's been in tight moments. They don't rattle. They just keep at the job in the process of trying to win the game, and that was the case. Oregon State scored in the first half pretty early, and we made a little bit of an adjustment. The second half we were much better, had chances to score, did score with 5 minutes left, but also had good chances to win the game in regulation and overtime. So, we just stay at it until the clock runs out. And I think that it's a testament to the senior leadership in the team. We've got 11 seniors, guys who've been here, guys who have that experience, and you really can't replace that.
Alexis, did you have a follow-up?
Yeah, just one more on a broader scale. You've obviously had a lot of success during your time. You guys have had some deep runs. What's the key to kind of establishing that tradition and being able to have the success that you've been able to have there at Clemson?
Well, it starts with having really good players, and we've been blessed with that. Obviously, last year we had a number of guys go on to the MLS, and we've had that happen. Robbie Robinson was a Herman Trophy winner 2 years ago. We just found out today that Oscar Algren has been named a semifinalist for the Herman Trophy. So it really starts with good players, and a lot of that credit goes to our recruiting coordinator and associate head coach Phil Jones, who's been with us for the 12 years here at Clemson. The next piece is having great support from the university and our administration. Our facilities are, continue to get better and better and attract teams and players. We're going to host the new MLS Charlotte team for their preseason. And then the last thing is, there is nothing better than playing at Riggs Stadium. It's an iconic college soccer stadium that our fans make an incredible place to be able to play. And there's no place better in college soccer to play in front of our fans. And we're hoping that we're going to be able to turn Cary orange and give it a semi-Riggs feeling this weekend.
All right, we'll go back to Matt Vereen.
Yeah, Coach, kind of what you just talked about right there, but earlier you were talking about the challenge of going all the way across the country to face Oregon State. What's the advantage now to playing a lot closer to home and probably being able to have a lot of fan support right there, right behind you?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's massive. it's we were in Cary last year, lost in penalties to Marshall, who obviously went on to win the tournament. And we were hoping that we could do the same thing last year in terms of making Cary a more of a home field advantage. And, with the, again, the buzz that's gone on here at Clemson since we got back from Oregon with our alums, the students, and, just the whole university, I'm pretty excited about Friday night and what it's going to look like on Friday night.
Back to John Blau. Go ahead, John.
Just wanted to ask another question about George, just that penalty kick situation, the last one against Oregon State. The guys seem to really be herky-jerky. You try to take him in a bunch of different directions, and he's calm about it and made the save. I mean, how much has George improved just in those penalty kick situations to have the discipline to make a save like that in the final situation?
Well, he actually made two, and he's gotten immensely better. Last year we took him out in the penalties against Marshall. Our other goalkeeper had kind of done a little bit of a better job, was a little bit bigger and took up more of the goal. And like any great player, George took that as a little bit of a front, and he went to work and worked on it all throughout the summer and, this fall. And he's gotten better. He's gotten much better. And, I'm really proud of George, obviously. And that, when you have someone like that who really, takes his craft and works at it with the way that George does, it's just great to see the fruits of his labor pay off.
Then we might have time for one or two more if anybody has the additional questions for Coach. Coach, just a quick one. Just this season, the uniqueness of it, you were playing in the winter and then, championship in the spring in April and May, and then you come back and play again. Just what's it been like, to navigate that, to have and be one of the four teams that kind of has played this full year and still be here standing at the end of it in the College Cup?
It's awesome. I think that this is something that, 202 other teams or 204 other teams wish they were doing. And I think that the experience that we had last year is wonderful and probably should be and could be the future for our sport if we get the 21st century model passed. I think that every FAR in the country right now should be talking to their administrations about having our championship in the spring, because right now, I know Notre Dame has exams next week. We're in the middle of exams right now, and we're pulling kids out, to play in two of the biggest games, hopefully, of their lives. So I think a more balanced schedule like we displayed last year in the ACC is what the future of the game should hold for the health and welfare of the players, for their academic concerns, and also for the growth of the game. So fantastic that we're here. Fantastic that we're still standing, and hopefully that'll be the case come Saturday morning.
One more, if anyone, check real quick. All right, Travis Clark from Top Drawer Soccer. Last question for Coach Noonan.
Yeah, Mike, what is it like to play in a championship game? I know what kind of a different vibe does it give to play a familiar opponent, a Notre Dame, a team you see usually every year, a team you played before in a season. Does that, is it advantages, disadvantages? I'm just curious on your take.
No, like I said earlier, Travis, that if you're playing in the College Cup, all four teams are outstanding. And we're just looking at it's Notre Dame. Yes, we have some familiarity with them, but at the same point, it's an outstanding team and it's a championship caliber team, like I said. So, it's going to be a great game. And they are extremely well coached. They're, Notre Dame athletes are always well disciplined and really good sportsmen. And we're looking forward to a fantastic game against, someone who we're a little familiar. But we just went out to Corvallis, Oregon, and most of us have never been in Corvallis, Oregon, and so we've had our little difference for the tournament.
Mike, thank you again for the time this afternoon. Congratulations to Clemson making the Men's College Cup, and we will look forward to seeing you out in Cary later this week.
Thank you, Matt. And a big shout out to Matt Kemp, who I saw on the call, who's worked with us last year, and he's out in Colorado doing great things. So good to see everybody, and we'll look forward to seeing everybody in Cary. Thanks.
All right, we'll keep things. I think we've got Coach Weiss joining us